If you ride and record, you know that most action cameras just don't hold up. There's bad audio, shaky footage, and blown out skies. I spent the last few weeks testing out the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro in real-world conditions, and it might be the first camera that actually gets what motorcyclists need. So let's take a proper look at it and what it can do on the road. This one was completely my fault. Hi Sprocketeers, my name is Safi Sprocket and you're watching this because you ride, shoot or vlog, or maybe all three. And you're looking for a camera that doesn't just survive on your helmet or bars, but actually delivers the footage that makes your ride look the way it felt. I'm talking fast, clean and beautiful. Well, today I've got something that might just be your next camera. This is my full review of the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, built with a pro-level imaging system designed for rugged real-world use, and yes, absolutely tested on two wheels. Let's start with the camera's build and design, because if you ride, you know how brutal the road can be on your gear. From heat to rain to vibration, the occasional dropping it down the road. Any weak point will get exposed very quickly when you ride a motorcycle. And that's why the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro immediately impressed me. I know, I'm usually very critical of action cameras, but I'm not of this one. This thing is built like a tank. And not in a bulky, overbuilt way. The body is made from magnesium alloy, which gives it a premium feel and helps manage heat. Now, this is really important because it dissipates better than plastic, so running it at higher resolutions in the sun doesn't overheat it as quickly, and it's solid. There's no flex, there's no cracking, and the finish, guys, I don't know if you can hear this, but it's very, very well built. And for the design, it weighs just under 50 grams. That might not sound like much, but if you've ever worn a heavier helmet camera, you will know exactly what I am talking about. The constant drag, that little neck fatigue that builds up over hours, it eventually all adds up. Now, I have been running this chin mounted for the vast majority of my rides, and to be honest, I don't even notice it's there once I've started moving. There is no bounce, there's no sway, and crucially, there is no extra wind drag. Thank God. Now let's talk about the screens, because when it comes to this camera, it has dual OLED touchscreens, front and rear, rated at 1000 nits. That means they are visible in sunlight, which is where we spend most of our time, guys. I've shot on other cameras where you're constantly squinting, second guessing every angle. Every time you stop at lights, you're trying to struggle to see what is there. The rear screen isn't sharp, but on this, guys, it is sharp, fluid, and reactive. And the front screen, it is so handy for vlog framing, checking out the angle before you're rolling it. There was a few times where I could basically look in front of my bike mirror, checking where it is, make sure it's pointing at the road, and I'm good to go. Now, that being said, I did notice a slight lag in frigid temperatures. It took a second longer to wake up and register the touches. It's not a deal breaker. Technology has always been this way when it's cold. I mostly noticed it in the early mornings around 5 or 6 degrees Celsius. But still, overall, it is still the best display setup I have seen on an action camera. Now let's talk waterproofing, because this camera is rated up to 20 meters without a case, which is a big deal for adventure riders. As much as you want to fool everyone that it's a glamorous lifestyle, guys, we all know you spend more time in the rain than you do in the sun. The only time you're not spending in the rain is when you're crying in your tent. Guilty. Now, this camera is rated up to 20 meters without a case, which is a big deal for riders. It means less bulk on your setup, no fogging issues, and also better audio pickup, since you're not sealing it behind plastic. Now, I've ridden straight into some serious tropical downpours with this thing, roads, flooding, visibility next to zero. And this camera didn't miss a beat. There was no water intrusion, there was no audio degradation, and actually it dried off really, really quickly and without issue. Now, the matte, slightly textured finish on the Osmo 5 isn't just about grip and aesthetics. It also means that bugs, road grime, and dried up gunk are less likely to smear or stick onto the way that a glossy rubberized surface would. Since it's not overly porous or coated with soft touch paint, which can get really tacky or even hold residue, you'll find that a microfiber cloth or even just a motorcycle glove can remove most of the debris really easy off this camera, which is incredibly important as a biker because I give it about an hour's tops before this thing gets absolutely covered. And so while DJI doesn't market itself as bug swipe friendly, the design works a lot in our favor. Now, something that's really interesting is that DJI has gone all in with their magnetic mounting system. I've seen this pop up on a few different cameras recently. I wasn't overly sold on it at first because, don't get me wrong, it's slick, it's fast, it's secure, and it is one of the most convenient systems I've used. But it does mean that you are going to need to buy adapters if you've already got a pile of other mounts from other systems or a custom rig built around standard threads. It's not a huge deal. It's one of those things where DJI is pushing their ecosystem over compatibility. However, because this now isn't the only camera that's pushing this new magnetic system, I'm kind of coming around and coming on board. Now, it's a theme with this camera, as you'll see later. All in all, although this camera has been clearly designed to survive the realities of the road life, rain, heat, impact, it can take it. And it feels purpose-built with clean lines, rugged internals, and smart details. It doesn't feel like a lifestyle toy. It feels like proper adventure, roadworthy gear, which is a big compliment from me because I am always overly critical of technology. Now let's get into what separates the Action 5 Pro from the rest of the pack. And yeah, it's image quality. And I get it, guys. Every action camera claims to have the better image quality. But here it is. It's not just marketing hype. It is all about the sensor. The Action 5 Pro has a 1.3-inch type sensor. Technically, it's over 1.3, which is bigger than what you'll find in most action cameras. That's big, especially in the action camera world. Most cameras in this category are still running a 1/2.3-inch sensor or smaller. And if you don't live in the camera spec world, let me explain why that matters. Basically, long story short, a bigger sensor captures more light. More light means less noise, more detail, and better performance in challenging lighting situations. If you're out in the sunshine, you're unlikely to see a difference, but where you will see that difference is when you're pitching your tent in the evening or you're trying to walk through a forest and your torch light goes out. And so for us riders, where we are constantly battling in harsh lighting conditions in the rural areas, you know how it goes. You're riding at dawn, the sun is low, shadows are long, maybe you're filtering through traffic under trees, and then boom, you pop out into full sun. Or think about hitting a tunnel just as the sun is dipping behind the horizon, you're going underground to eventually emerge wherever. When it comes to all of those rapid lighting changes, smaller sensors struggle to keep up. Highlights blow out, shadows crush, and it's like your ride loses half its story. But with this sensor, it handles that contrast like a champion. You've got 13.5 stops of dynamic range, which is wild for an action camera. In real terms, when you're shooting into the sun, the sky still holds its detail, the dash and your tank doesn't become a black blob. You can see the reflections and even the stitching on your gloves, and it gives your footage this natural, filmic balance that looks real. Now let's talk about frame rates. The Action 5 Pro shoots 4K at 120 frames per second. That is buttery smooth slow-mo without dropping to 1080p like a lot of other cameras force you to do. And when you're filming rides, that high frame rate is magic. Think about carving through those corners, leaning into tight bends, something I can't quite yet do, but then being able to replay that in slow motion in full detail. You're not losing sharpness just to get the drama. You get both with this camera. And that slow motion, it isn't just about flair. It's actually useful for breaking down technique. Now, if you're into editing and grading, this is a huge win. 10-bit color means over 1 billion possible shades. You can push the footage, brighten skies, pull shadows, dial in the warmth of a sunset, and the image will hold up. There is no banding, no falling apart like an 8-bit often does. For those who aren't into that kind of sort of editing, no worries. DJI's standard color modes look fantastic straight out of the camera. Now, I'll be honest, I'll be most likely to be using the footage standard straight from the camera. I'm talking about that natural profile, no LUTs, no correction, and even with the lack of editing, it was still fantastic. The skin tones were accurate, the bike paint popped, and even the Rode didn't get that weird over-sharpened look that you sometimes get from other cameras. Now, obviously it won't replace a full frame mirrorless camera, but for something mounted to your helmet in the dark at speed, it is seriously impressive. Now, one of the other nice touches about this camera is the lens field of view. You've got a wide 155 angle, which is perfect for helmet mounting. It captures your dash, your mirrors, your bars, and the full scene ahead without feeling like a fisheye camera. And you can dial it in if you do want something tighter. There are multiple digital crops depending on your resolution and stabilization settings. Between the big sensor, the clean high frame rate 4K, and the legit color depth, you're getting footage that doesn't feel like a clone of other action cameras. It feels cinematic, like something you could actually build a full ride documentary around. And if you're serious about showing the feel of your ride, the Action 5 Pro gives you the visual tools to do it. From golden hour twisties to night runs under city lights, this camera captures it all, and it looks as epic as if you were actually there again. Now let's talk about mounting options, because this is where things get a little divisive. Now, this camera uses a magnetic quick release system, and on paper it sounds a little bit gimmicky until you use it, because it is fast, and I mean legitimately one-handed snap and go. I historically was never that keen on the magnetic system, and the reason being is the first time I ever used a magnetic system on a different camera, I didn't connect it properly and the camera fell off and smashed. Yay! However, I have since become a major fan of them since I learned to use them properly, and the reason I'm a huge fan is because quite often I'll stop at a petrol station. I don't want to have to carry my helmet in. A lot of petrol stations don't allow you to wear helmets in the UK when you're fueling up. But I don't want to leave my camera unattended either, so being able to go, take it off, walk inside, pay, come back and put it back on my helmet is amazing. Again, I didn't really like this system at first. I have since become its #1 fan. I'll eat a slice of humble pie when I'm wrong. It's a great system. I love magnetic systems on action cameras now. Yeah, totally. I'm backtracking on my previous opinions. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I really liked the wireless microphone, and I liked the fact that I didn't have a cable down with my helmet. Now, I do want to mention that voice control isn't flawless at high speeds. Once you're cruising above 60 miles per hour with a noisy helmet, airflow, and an open visor, the accuracy does start to drop. But honestly, at that speed, you're probably not trying to give voice commands anyway. And that's where quick record or pre-record comes into play. So it's not really a knock against the system, it's just something to keep in mind. I'm going to be completely honest. Quite often I get a lot of cameras to review. And quite often, at the end of those review periods, I find myself going back to my old camera system. And it's not because the old camera system is better, it's because I am inherently lazy, and switching to a whole new ecosystem for something requires you to invest time and effort into learning that system fully. Which, I'm going to be honest guys, I'm a lazy girl. I'm not willing to do that a lot of the time. However, what I will say is that with the DJI camera, although the test runs I've been taking it on, although the footage hasn't been perfect straight out the bat, it's the first camera that has made me want to invest time because I'm so willing to switch, which is a huge, huge compliment, because I will always take the easier way out, even if that means the results are 90% instead of 100%. So the fact that I have just made a conscious decision to physically switch to a new ecosystem because the results are so much better is a huge compliment, because I am a lazy person. I won't usually do that, but it's really good. I love the camera. I love all of the accessories that come with the camera. It is a really easy system. I'm not fully sold on how to operate everything. It's going to take a lot of time. I'm probably going to have a few filming disasters in the next 3 months while I'm learning this new system, but I can hand on my heart say this is going to be my new helmet cam for sure. I really like it. I'm really impressed. I was a little bit skeptical when DJI approached me, but I'll have to hand it to them. It's a really good product. It's a really good product, and it has made me want to change my main camera. So congratulations. This is probably going to be the camera you will see on my helmet going forward. I love it, it's great. I'll probably have to iron out a few details in terms of microphone options, and I'm probably gonna have to get a couple of magnetic mounts. Oh man, once I get like loads of magnetic mounts everywhere, I feel like it's gonna be so much easier to use pretty much everywhere. So yeah, if that isn't a glowing review I don't know what it is. I think it takes a lot to make me want to switch to a new system, and they did it. They did it, guys. So, and you know me, I am a critical gremlin on pretty much everything. I will criticize everything until the cows come home. And this camera isn't perfect, but I love it enough to change and put effort into it. So. This one was completely my fault.